mean, it was an enlightening experience for me. Even regardless of what Prabhuji has said, we all need inspiration. Okay? Especially the older you get, the more you, like an old tree, start to fall apart. So to come out here and see all of you has been really, I mean with all my heart, enlightening experience, and it is raised my consciousness about the gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada as to how one person has enlightened the whole world, regardless of region, country, so on and so forth. So thank you very much, especially Prabhuji, Prabhuji and Vishwanath Prabhu, taking such good care of me and all of you. Request Mataji to often come forward. I'm still in Grihastha. I want her, so I'm not a brahmachari, I'm not a sannyasi. This freedom to I take this position for a long time. I think Guru Maharaj suggested me I should take sannyas in the Maharaj. Okay, the rest of the seminar or the start is up to all of you. So all of you understand English, right?
Yes.
Do most of you understand Hindi? You may not be able to talk, but you understand. What I do is when most of the audience is Hindi, then I sometimes use English phrases to highlight something. When most of the audience is English, then I use Hindi sometimes, because I think everyone understands a little bit. Okay, so I think we are about half an hour behind. We were supposed to start at 10:30, right? It's 11. So I was telling Prabhuji, we can do it two ways. My style is to really have a nice question-answer interaction, okay? Because I have slides I can show you. And maybe I should do that just to get the thought process started. And then we could quickly move on into Q&A, okay? Because what I want to show you may not be what you want to hear. The whole idea is to, my emphasis has always been to, based on my family's experience, to give you some practical tips. And that doesn't come out in a sort of canned presentation. So I have two sets of presentations. One is called Success in Grihastha Ashram, and the other one is The Art of Krishna Conscious Parenting. And I have a feeling we will start with Grihastha Ashram, but we will very quickly move to parenting. So you see, let me know, and then we'll see. So, and again, please feel free. You probably saw a little bit of my style yesterday. I'm very informal. Feel free to ask questions or say something that you don't understand. I'm very happy to see some young adults. I'm assuming that they will very quickly go from brahmachari to Grihastha ashram. That's why they're here. It's not a bad ashram, okay? Okay. You all see that? Okay. So let me ask you a question. Can you name some famous householders that you would like to emulate, that you like to follow?
Sri Ram.
Sri Ram, very nice. Bhakti Thakur Maharaj, you know how many children he had, right? 10. Now we're lucky if somebody has two, right? Okay, who else? Srila Prabhupada, very nice. हाँ शिवास पांडे माता जी आपसे बोलिए कौन से गृहस्थ how many householder famous and maybe we should say famous who are famous in the spiritual world. Sudama Brahmana. Someone list. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Hiranyakashipu, I put that down too. And the same collective Ravan, Swambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Rama Brahman, Janak Maharaj, all the children, you know all these? What's your name? Chirag? Very nice. Have you heard of all these devotees? Some of them? Prahlad Maharaj? Yamraj, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya. And you come this side. You want to help me, okay? What grade are you in? Second. Nice. Okay. Advaita Acharya, Shiva Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. So we have 12 Mahajans, right? We're supposed to follow the footsteps of the Mahajans. How many of them are Grihastha out of 12? Who knows the answer? 7. 7 out of 12 are Grihasthas. Okay? So don't feel bad. Okay? Don't feel bad. So, some basic definitions. There are the two types of householders. One is the Grihastha. You probably heard of this if you've done a little bit of Bhagavatam. Grihastha. And the other one?
Grihastha.
Okay, what is the difference?
Grihastha is engaged in enjoying, and Grihastha wants to perform.
Say it out. Very nice.
Grihastha is the person who is materially engrossed and he wants to enjoy. And Grihastha, he wants to develop bhakti.
Very nice. Okay. So I guess then I don't have to do my next 2 slides. Okay. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, Sloka 2, it is said, right? So these are the Sanskrit. When those persons, like you said, what's your name?
Kshitij. Kshitij.
Kshitij. Who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. How many subject matters for hearing and so in human society, they are just passing their time as householders, either at night sleeping or in daytime making money and maintaining family members. And what is the difference, like he said, for us? Is interested in spiritual development. And therefore you will see that for the Grihastha, we always use the word ashram. Grihastha ashram nahi. There's no Grihastha ashram. Grihastha ashram. The word ashram means a place where you can practice spirituality. So, so the next question that comes in is, how do we define that we are successful, or what is the factors for success in Grihastha ashram? So this is the time to raise your hands and tell what is needed. In your opinion, how would you be succeeding in Grihastha ashram? Anyone?
Engage all. Engage all the.
Yeah, mic, maybe.
Engage our family members in devotion of service.
Okay, very nice. Anyone else?
successful ashram will be one where the Grihastha or the leader of the family, he himself will facilitate the process by which he himself can develop himself, and also all the dependents, they can together, they can make their spiritual life.
Very nice. Both things are covered. Not only to save ourselves, but everyone who is underneath us is repeated in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and even in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. So, yourself, yes.
He's saying, also service is the center of the family.
Very nice. All of you are 2 slides ahead of me, okay? That's exactly right. So grasp, and the objective is that actually it's a journey. Yatra, all of you go on yatras. So the yatra begins as brahmachari, which you are, and then Rupa says you can jump from brahmachari all the way to sannyas, but if you cannot, then there are 2 in between stages from brahmachari to grihastha and grihastha to vanprastha. And the purpose is the shastras, they're very practical. They know that one cannot go from step 1 to the top step in one jump, unless we are, high jumper. High jump, you can do that. But most of us cannot. So gradually, 25-year period. First 25, brahmachari, then grihastha, then vanprastha, and then sannyas. Okay? So this is the sort of the basic definition we are agreeing on. Now the question comes, and that's why the seminar is here. I think most of us have some issues, some pricks, horns that we feel we're not successful. So what are the problems that keep us from being successful in Grihastha ashram? And you're not a Grihastha yet. Right, but maybe it does not mean Prahlad Maharaj was not a Grihastha. As a child, he was telling Grihasthas what to do. So no problem, okay. My idea is sometimes to make fun, okay? So don't feel bad. So, family may hug each other, you laugh together, you do that. So, I'm really impressed. So, what are the each one of us are, some of you want, I will tell you, what are your issues in being, quote unquote, successful Grihastha, in the sense that I think the reason you're here, all of you are here, is because you want to advance spiritually, and you want your family to advance spiritually. What is stopping you? What are the practical problems?
The speed of progress should be solved.
Okay.
The different levels of consciousness.
Well, that's okay, but see, many people say that, Prabhuji, I'm not catching speed. My comeback is okay, as long as you have speed, you're not stationary. Okay, so don't worry about the speed, but what is keeping you from taking that speed? Maybe that's the question I want to know. What are the blockages? I mean, when you take a train, the train takes the speed, but then it stops because there's didn't get a signal, the red light. What are the red lights that's stopping you taking a steady speed? That is what we're going to discuss today. And I think I have a list. It should match with what all of you have. But I want you to say first. Pehla bataiye. Batao. पापा मम्मी को क्या दिक्कतें होती है? You understand some Hindi, right? आती है ना? Yeah, I saw in Middle East actually. I've been to Dubai, Oman, because we are in a expat environment. We need a common language that they don't understand, so we can still in the group talk. And so I found that most expats in Middle East, they know Hindi very well. So thank you for that. But go ahead. This is in English. Mataji, bataiye aap. You have Matajis, I don't understand. They think they have more problems than the Prabhus. So you start from this side. And this is a chance to be honest. Okay, they won't say anything to you because I'm here. Somebody should give all these children the task of moving the mic. So for those who are just joining, the question on the floor is, what are some of the issues that is keeping you from being, say, nice householders? How's it? It takes a little bit of time to get to my style, but yeah, you make progress.
Children's studies center.
Anji?
Children's studies education.
Children's education, okay. By the way, I'm a little bit hard hearing on my right side on the ear. So sometimes I may ask you to repeat, not because you're not saying it, because I'm not hearing it. And you know why this is, right? Why my right ear is kind of deaf, not the left. For 30 years, I've done DT worship on the altar. You're on the right, okay, doing that. And the devotees, there were a few devotees in my congregation who would purposely bang the kartas, and they're right next to the altar. So I hear much better with this left side. Go ahead. Education of children, what else?
In the family, everybody is practicing the devotional service. Much problem will not be there. But maybe one or two are the husband and wife will be practicing. The children are not in the same line. So we face lots of issues. Personally, from my experience, I do.
So you're saying is in your family, some are Krishna conscious, some are not. Right? And so how do you do that? Right? How many children you have?
Two.
Two. So one you think is Krishna conscious.
Both are there, not accepting, but they are not fully involving also. So sometimes because of them, we should, we are some difficulties.
Yeah. No, I understand. इधर दीजिए पहले दीजिए फिर माता जी और ओपन अप हो जाएंगे
Not giving time to each other, each family members.
You don't have enough time. That's the issue. We are busy. I have a slide that says busy.
Too much busy for earning money.
Okay. All right.
Prabhu, also the places where there's lot of glamour and Maya Prabha, and lack of understanding of what's written in the scripture and having the faith in the scripture. So that's becomes a fundamental blockage of the inertia to start on that path.
Faith, actually at the dinner table yesterday, Prabhuji and Mataji and we were talking about one of the biggest issue is we talk about Adav Shraddha, Sata Sadhu Sangha. Problem is the very first Shraddha. And believe me, and we could spend a whole day on it. Believe me that you should believe that what Prabhupada has said. Should have total faith. Should have total faith that whatever he has written is correct, will fructify, will give fruits, if Prabhupada said, if you follow my process, and his process is really what is recommended in Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, everywhere else. It's a matter of developing that faith. And hopefully by the time this 1 hour is over, maybe we all will have some more faith. Okay, very nice. What else? One more to Anji? Health issues? Achha. Okay, good. Get up at 4 in the morning and then you go to 10 at night. And the prasadam, no beer, no meat, nothing, you know, it's just sometimes you watch, right? All of you must have seen the ad in Indian TV, right? Sunday ho ya Monday ho, aane ande. See, you all understand Hindi. That has been trained in us. I mean, we don't have time. I can tell you a very nice story on it. Actual that I saw. Anyway, one or two more, then we'll move on. Pardon me? Lack of concentration. Lack of understanding. Okay. Lack of knowledge. Huh? So you are, all of you have good. Yes, sir.
So, like Srila Prabhupada said, we have to buy our own place.
Uh-huh.
So, it is ourselves, we have to, in a family, we have to give them the atmosphere where they can also practice. But ultimately, my part, I have to do.
Yeah, but then, yeah. The thing is, that is very true. But initially, every pilot, before they fly their own plane, they need training, they need mentorship. Okay, and that's where the Grihastha ashram comes in. Okay, very nice point.
Lack of training.
Lack of training. So here's a list that I've done so many seminars, but practically all of the issues are at this level. But when it comes down to what they call the brass tacks, the thumbtacks, these are the issues that Matajis and Prabhus talk about. I want to do Krishna conscious, but who comes my way? Parents. Especially in our parents and then as our children concern grandparents. This thing about the grandparent was telling his family, he had grandkids, and on TV they were showing that everyone who eats eggs and all that, they're tall, nice, handsome, and they come from a village background, and all their family was quote, you know, my size. And so the grandfather, he was so mesmerized with the ad, he told his daughter-in-law, they were all vegetarians. After he saw the ads, that from now on, all the grandchildren are going to get eggs so that they can become strong. Okay? So, yeah. So parents, relatives, friends, you know, what are you into this? Has somebody told you that in India? I mean, here you cannot talk about it, right? Understand? I can tell you my personal story. The first one we got, you know, in Krishna conscious. After that, we came to Jaipur, my hometown. At that time, my parents were sort of in a state of shock. Okay. Now they all became devotees. We'll talk about that. And in the morning, most devotees, what do you do in the morning? Japa. So we were walking around in a house in Jaipur, and every day my father, my mother, you know, she saw us do that. My father was always quiet. I mean, he left all these issues to the, you know, the sas, the mother-in-law to tell to the daughter-in-law and so on and so forth. Right? That's it. We take the high ground, you know. So, but one day my father could not resist himself. And he said in Hindi, "Tum log ghar par khana banate ho na? You make food, you work at home, right?" Then kya baat hai? Why? He asked me. He said, "I always see your right hand in the bead bag. So how are you doing things?" Jab haath yahan bhara hua hai, unless you are left there, how are you doing? So Nathan, you see that happen, and most of you have done that, right? So they're very genuine. They're concerned, but in the wrong direction. Somebody, huh? You've gone through that, all of you, you've gone through that. Munkara DJ, you do that and we will keep on talking. Huh? I'm glad you're smiling. Huh? This is happening, right? This is real work. Okay? Friends, relatives, and job. Now these circumstances are forcing you. Prabhuji is telling me that here even Matajis cannot get visa till they show that they're working here. It's a hellish environment. India also, US, America, everywhere. Interpersonal relationships. If you are working, at the end of the day, question comes up, who's going to make prasad? Children, in all of this, and all of you have the right concern, but they're like, what happens, you know what Chucky is, right? Huh? It used to be, right? You get two of them wheels, right? And in the middle, the children are the ones who get grounded once in a while. You understand the model? Nice. You've never seen Chucky, right? See, that is what the Prabhupada call the hellish civilization. Anyway, just trust me. Money. We are making more money than we ever did in our lives. And we still don't have enough of it. Is it true? See? Or lack of time, the Prabhuji ne kaha. There's one more thing, which all of you should realize. Prabhupada has said that 75% of our devotional life is finished the day we go around the 5-7 times. So if you're dealing with a very tough situation and you want to solve it in 45 minutes. Huh? Okay. So this is one thing, right? And
chance that you will not go back.
75% chance. But there's an answer to that. Okay? Remind me to tell you that, okay? I'm still here. And then, like the Shastras are saying, and Prabhuji said that, is that the Shastras are also giving us additional responsibility, regardless of what Yeshwanathan Prabhu said, that anyone who's under you, you have to train them, they can fly their plane, not into hell, but to heaven, or to that. This is very true. And the last thing is, if the society is 100%, 3/4 of the society, the Grihasthas have their weight on the shoulder, not only to support their family, their children, but the society also. Understand that who can do the math? 1/4 are perhaps brahmacharis, quote unquote, 1/4 a little less sannyasis are retired, they don't care, 1+ like me. And then the rest 1/4. And I didn't put 1/4, I put 3/16. Right? Because even Grihastha also, that people are moving to 1+, they're semi-retired. And so they have to support the entire society. Charity and deity worship and working, and then supporting all the sannyasis who come in, so on and so forth. But then the Shastras, they also say in Kali Yuga, Grihastha ashram is the preferred ashram. So we all have a big responsibility on our shoulders. So I've given you a very depressing situation, but there's hope. Okay, there's hope. Any questions or comments? Are we on the right track? Huh? I'm building the case. Huh? So, what is the biggest problem? All those things were there, relatives and friends and job, this and that. But there's one common problem that is on top of everything. Shraddha? Yeah, but Shraddha in what? Okay. And this is what I'm leading to. What happens in my seminars is given to devotees and they always jump to the conclusion, right? Oh, yes, I want to go back to God. Well, so I'm at a very basic level, the way I struggle through, okay? So you have the right answer, but how do you get there? Yeah. So, yeah, we've lost our focus. Kendra Bindu is the focal point. Whoever knows the geometry or physics, to balance something, you have to be at the midpoint. Then you can go on. So we have lost our focus. Focus, we cannot focus means focusing only on one thing. Understand? One thing. And I know sometimes my wife says, I have only 2 hands. I can do only so much. I was telling Coach, my name is Ananth Rupa. I used to give her lots of ideas. You do this, you do this, you do this. It's like, मैं लक्ष्मी नहीं, 4 हाथ नहीं. So you see, we all have to be balanced, central. And to be balanced, you have to have a nice balancing point. Okay. So what are the centers in your life? Mataji, they say children, right? Children is your focus, right? Or should be. Or is it jobs now? I can give you a real example. I was one time I was traveling to India from US and I had a big layover in London. And that got extended because of the fog and everything else. So we were in London at the airport lounge for about 7 hours. I was sitting there. Luckily, I take my aloo parathas with me. I have no problems on leaving. And there was another Mataji with one child, and they were sitting there. And the child was in between his age and what happened to him. And the child was sitting there very lonely, very kind of depressed. And then this is pre-COVID and before people used to trust each other. So I opened up, and gave a little bit to the child, started eating. And pretty soon we became friends. So I started to talk to the child and started talking to me. And then it was over, his mother came to me. Well, thank you so much. I'm not seeing my child like this for a long time. Yeah, he was talking, he was happy with you. Okay, yeah, I saw he was depressed. What is the reason? So bola ki the child has a little bit of, liquid around. So on his face he had few spots, white spots. Well, ever since he had that, when he used to go to school, children would make fun of him, and he got depressed. What about at home? So what do you husband do? He's a doctor. What do you do? I'm a doctor. So, and when he comes home, he's very lonely also. And I mean, I kept on questioning. I won't give you the whole thing, but I said, he said, you should concentrate on the child. Bola, yes, we fight over it because he says, I have my patients to take care of. And I say, I have my patients. The real patient is in the house and they don't have time to do it. They've lost the focus. Why are we working? Why are we working? Are we working for children or are we working for our own egos? What is the one most thing that the child needs? Huh? Huh? Love. Can money buy love? You ask any child, I can ask him, her, here, and they will say, honestly, they would encourage, why don't you leave your jobs and just spend time with me? Love. And $1 million cannot buy you love. So our model that used to be has been disrupted by this material. That's what Prabhupada said, material slaughterhouse education. So they give, our centers have changed. Before I go there, maybe I do like this. There's a consultant in America, he died, a motivational marketing consultant, consulted for all the big corporations. His name was Stephen Covey. Anyone of you have heard of him? Nice, right? And he openly said he was a Mormon. Mormons in America are like Hare Krishnas in India. Okay? Everyone likes them, everyone hates them. I'm being very honest. I think. I mean, if I just say everyone hugs Hare Krishna, that's not true, right? But they all want to be Hare Krishna. Yeah. So he said he did research. He did research. And which families are the most happiest families? That's the research he did. And we're trying to do the same thing here. And so he did research and he asked them a question and then he tabulated it, right? He said, in a different way, what do you do after work? What is important to you? And some people said, I like my work, I like my job. And that's what I want to do most. And what is the word that we use for them? Who's in management?
Workaholics.
Workaholics. Workaholics. Okay. And some are, what do you do after work? Well, we and my friends, we go out and eat and drink. So for them, the center of all the work and everything is friends. Abhi bachon ko kya hua? What happened to children and wives? She has her own life, and I have my own life. Children have their own life. Right? Some, and this is a very sensitive issue, some, the center of life was parents, मेरे माँ बाप, और ये मैंने खुद अपनी लाइफ में देखा, बिगनिंग वाइफ कहती थी तुम पापा मम्मी के साथ बहुत टाइम बिताते। I've come from India, from USA on a 3-week vacation with all of you. So 11 months I'm there with all of you, and I'm come 3 weeks, and I'm spending in Jaipur for 2 weeks, and I'm talking to my parents till midnight. So what's wrong with that? Prabhuji, आप बताओ. Yesterday about being a devotee. So some are parents focused, some are wife focused. बच्चे बहुत कम आए, they become secondary. And there were a few who said, we are all focused, we mean the whole family, or my central point is my church. आप समझ रहे हैं, मंदिर. And then he tabulated the results, and he asked them who's happy, who's not. Do you know which group was the most happiest? Haji? Those who went to church, yes. Church in the sense, they do not know, Christ as a person who would be. They were the most happiest. So Prabhupada has said this, right? Have a single center and make Krishna the center of your life. And if you make Krishna the center of your life, then all around it you can have all these circles. And they will all become very happy. Does it make sense? How you do it? We get to that. मैं जॉब करूं या Number three. And the last thing is, a householder should earn money. Actually, my friends, and in this prasad is a separate point. I put emphasize here. Enough money for these purposes. And there's some more is coming, okay, but this is very simplification, okay? So really, tips 2, 3, and 4, and 5. We did the one, Krishna Center, and these are the 4. And then beyond this is nothing else. Deity worship, festivals, satsang, which is the parties, and prasadam. So practically, what is the festivals? What do all, well, I'll come to that. Let's go. So why deity worship? Why not for brahmacharis? I'll ask him right now. Why not for brahmacharis? Why not for sannyasis? Why the deity worship is reserved really almost for grihasthas? Yes.
That is because grihasthas they need to worship.
Mike, he's giving good answer, I think.
They need to worship. They need to worship the Lord. So they need a form of the Lord which is made of material elements.
Yeah.
That's why, like stone.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
why they need to.
But why grihasthas? Why not brahmacharis? You shouldn't be worshipping the deities. Question is, why is deity worship emphasized more for the grihasthas than any other ashram? That is my question. You're on the right track. Anyone who can help him? Yes, Prabhu, this way. After Bhanya, yes, go ahead. Good. Yes, very good point. What else? A family brings together, except as long as you don't have cell phones. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, brahmacharis and sannyasis are meant to be 24 hours engaged in service of Lordship.
Yes.
But grihasthas are more distracted.
Yes.
They have to go out.
Yes.
So with deity in the center of the home, they are the ones, they are
Very
meant to be.
Very good. Yasundar Prabhu, did you have anything more? Okay. And then there's one more point, and I again come back to the practical side of it. Good answer. That is the right answer. But then why? What does deity worship do? Yes, besides bringing family together. Yes. Yes, very nice.
By serving the deities.
Yes.
And engaging ourselves in the deity worship.
Yeah.
That's the
Regulates. Regulates our life. Yes, Mataji. Yes, very nice. See, because in the Grihastha ashram, like somebody said, we are the most distracted. So regulation. The fact is, using the example of Holi, and I was telling Prabhuji yesterday, we had a very nice conversation at the dinner table. You keep on feeding me prasadam, now I keep very nice prasadam by Mataji, and Prabhuji was being in the company, and Prabhu back there, and Omkara there, I think. There used to be a time when there used to be Holi. I personally would get up at 7 in the morning. I could hardly sleep at night before, and I would get up and quickly take breakfast. And by 7:30, I was out there playing Holi, and we were done playing Holi by 11:30. Now, nobody gets up before noon. In fact, I'd asked my cousin, my nephew, who's a devotee, was an IIT, and I'd gone there. So he was arranging a program for me with the students on a Sunday. So he arranged it. He said, what time? For 2 o'clock. I said, Shama, by that time, you've eaten, and you're sleepy and all this. No. Tauji, nobody gets up before noon. If I do at noon, they will hardly come. Early to bed, early to rise early to bed makes men healthy, wealthy, and wise. Do they teach you at school? Early to bed, early to rise makes men healthy, wealthy, wise. They don't teach that anymore. So regulation, the Grihastha life is all about staying up late. TV, talking, prajalpa. I didn't know the word prajalpa, but just talking, gossiping. Right? We all do that. Huh? Shake your head. Right? And the time goes away, it flies away. And so the next morning, right? I mean, in America, it's very common and it's happening in India. I've seen that myself. People, they come to work without shaving, without cleaning their mouths, in the dirty old jeans, in the t-shirt that they slept the night before, they're coming to office. So, but if you have DTs, somebody has to eat Laddu Gopal. And I know husband wife, we sleep and say, सेवा करनी है, तुम करो, फिर वो कहती माता जी, ठीक है आप लेटर आप you sleep, you work hard, I'll do it. Somebody has to get up. And then runs the household. So running the household starting at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, forget 5, versus starting the day at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So regulation. The Grihasthas, they need the most regulation. Cleanliness. Remember your good old days? You get up, and people don't even go to the toilet till you have tea, chai, coffee. Right? You used to do that before your Krishna conscious life? Anyone, please raise your hand. Chai bana ke la do. Okay? And you think she would take a bath and go to the kitchen? So kitchen is the place of Vishnu. You will make bhoga, if you know that, and you go into the kitchen without taking a bath, everything is ruined. So cleanliness comes in. Timeliness. And Laddu Gopal is the milk has to be given to him by 7 or 8 in the morning. Consistency, 7 days a week. Discipline. And then realizing that it's not Prabhuji who's running my life, it's Krishna who's running my life. And I'm not talking about elaborate deity worship. Please don't get me wrong. It may be as simple as offering agarbatti and maybe some flowers, maybe a glass of milk to Laddu Gopal. But it has to be there. Festivals is because we all want fun. Brahmachari life is not fun. Brahmachari, he spends all his time serving his guru. And depending on the mood of the guru, sometimes he does not even get to eat. So everyone wants to have fun, F-U-N. And so this is this is the sense gratification. There's sense gratification in Grihastha life also. And festivals are all fun. Yesterday, did everyone have fun? You did most of the work. I'm sorry, I realize that. I've spent my life in boys' temple school camp. So I know. Well, that was very fun. The mothers get the what you call sense gratification when the child says, "Mama, khana bahut acha bana." Manjari, do you say that to your mother? Huh? Right? And that's all she needs. So the Shastras know that, but it is clean fun. And it's unregulated. It goes from what, yesterday from 8 in the morning to 3 o'clock. I had to pull him out of the singing, Braj Prakash Prabhu, and we were standing in the back. When will they keep them finished so we can eat? And they were going on. They were going. The kids were going on. I think you were there. Playing Madanga. See, I saw it. My age doesn't allow me anymore. My legs actually. And you get Krishna Katha. An association. So everything is there. And we're also having fun. In fact, it is true. I was telling an example that my son, the older one, Radhika Raman, when he was in Oxford, England, the whole group they were had like their partners and everything else. So all these youth groups from different organizations, Swami Narayan and this and Buddhist and all that, they will gather together every once in a while, and then they would go around all the centers learning things. And so at one of these meetings, at the end, this boy from Swami Narayan, very nice organization, everything that they do right. And he said, and he was very committed to his own organization. We all should be. And so he said, I go to my temple, but when I want to have fun, do you know where he goes to? Hare Krishna Center. Hare Krishna. My son also brought 20 teenagers. They were just freshmen and when I was just first year students, so they were 18, 19, from middle of America, very farm community, very conservative. And he brought them to India on an official spiritual tour of India. And they went to all the different faiths. Okay? Hare Krishna's in Delhi, Vrindavan, a Jain temple in Bombay, a Gurdwara in Jaipur, Radha Govind temple in Jaipur. They went to Buddhist Lotus temple, a mosque, went everywhere. And they went to everywhere. At the end, we had a debrief session. And he asked them, so what were your experiences? Where did you felt the most good? And so on and so forth. So this one boy got up, he said, I had always read that spiritual life gives you happiness, right? Does it give you happiness? Galat keh raha. It's all work, right? And Prabhuji is all serious. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And you call it happiness? Huh? आप सोचते हैं मैं बहुत प्रैक्टिकली बता रहा हूँ, मैं बता रहा हूँ, मैं इतना डिवोटी नहीं हूँ। You know what he said? He said that I always wondered where you get happiness. He said, I found out that there's happiness in spiritual life, and I found out at the Delhi temple that evening we were there. At 7 p.m. they were having Aarti, Gaura Aarti, and the devotees were dancing. And so they pulled in these boys, and the girls were just standing there. So I was with the group. My son, thanks to him, he took me around. He said, "Hey, you'll be like a senior figure. You can give them the sort of the ancient culture and stuff." So, and they used to call me Papaji, you know, with my son. So he said, "Papaji," oh, the girls came, "Can we dance also?" The daddy doctor is mostly brahmachari culture. So, so I knew Mataji is there. So I told them, so they took the girls and they had a separate group and they had fun. They had fun. They never seen so much real joy. So that is the reason why we have festivals. And it's not just two, the Janmashtami and Gaur Purnima, right? We have so many festivals. Prabhupada has said that I can give you a festival for each day of the year, if you can do it. And these are sort of the main festivals. In our Boise temple, the Grihastha temple, we have one festival every month. That's what the temple keeps on going. In the LA temple, they have 23 festivals every year. That's the only way to engage the Grihasthas. We have more than Advaita Prince Day. Disappearance of 6 acharyas. 25 Ekadashis, they also become feasts. People say, Ekadashi feast, come to my home. Fasting. It's true. Man, first time I came and say, we're fasting. Huh? Yeah, because you all Grihasthas, I didn't see any saffron. Because what was that? Besharmiran. That person should be. And actually, we have fasting and feasting. Myself, I calculated I spend 1/3 of the year fasting. Half a day fast, a full day fast. Do you see any? I have a belly that I'm ashamed of. Huh? So, and then Kartik Mass, 30 days. And then we have Purushottam Mass, another every 3 years. Boy, right? Now, so this is festivals. Then it says about inviting friends for prasadam. What does prasadam do? Friendship. We are all craving for friendship. We are the most communicative society in social media. But you know what? What is the opposite of it? It is the most lonely society right now. Survey says 40% of all Americans, and India is happening to, they're lonely. We think America is so nice. They're lonely. Because this doesn't do anything. Friendship, it softens our heart. We become so mechanized, we become so machinized. Prasadam has to be honored. Or if you're sannyasi, you're supposed to eat quietly and honor prasadam. And the word is honoring prasadam. Here, me, we gulping prasadam. We just it gives you satsang. Somebody said satsang, association. It's very important. It is the first step in making other devotees. The way I tell in Boise who will become a devotee, you know is why, right? I told that to Nitin also, and because I see that in him too. You have 2 new people come to a temple, right? We have them wait for the prasadam lunch. Please, they sit down. And they both sit together, and then we go there and say, you know, one is eating, the other one, yeah, I don't know. Which one do you think is going to become a devotee? First person. Right. Prabhupada, I don't have time, but Prabhupada, he talks about this like a minute and a half video clip on YouTube. You all know about how did Krishna consciousness start? By chanting in Tompkins Park. But you know what Prabhupada says? He said, before that, I cooked prasadam for 40 to 50 hippies every day and up to 200 people on a Sunday. And it went on for several months or 2-3 months before we went to Thomas Hopkins Park. Narad Muni became Narad Muni. Why? How? He ate the remnants, Mahaprasad of the Bhakti Vedantas, and that gave him a taste to hear and chant. So what all of you did yesterday was commendable. And he said that yesterday, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, so Matajis don't feel bad, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows that. He said, frankly, I will personally take the lotus feet of anyone who can offer Krishna such nice food and place those lotus feet on my head, birth after birth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promises that. I'll be a problem. No problem system there, right? Yes. This is very fine print. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, he told Raghunath Das Goswami, he wanted to run away, become brahmachari and just go out. And he said, serve your aged father and mother who are devotees and try to study Bhagavatam at the same time. And Prabhupada in his purport qualifies it, that the father, mother should be devotees. Even now in India, father, mothers are devotees. So, one of this generation, my generation, we have to worry about. And so therefore we have to make them devotees. We talked about yesterday, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the greatest devotee of mothers, Mahaprabhu Bhakti Shiromani. Now what about parents? You finally get an understanding. Both of my parents became devotees. They both left chanting the holy name. Took a lot of effort. What about relatives? So the Grihasthas, unlike brahmacharis, they cannot go out on the streets, right? And distribute books. Well, most of us do, but what I'm saying is in terms of it. And then brahmacharis, they get the time to pull someone and sit down and preach to them, right? For 1 hour, 2 hours, right? We do that in basis, right, Prabhu? So I look at it, they're preaching candidates. We need someone to preach to. At least on my side of family, 60% of all relatives, they may not be total, initiated devotees, but they've gotten books, they're chanting, they left, remembering Krishna and everything else. And the Prabhupada said it's nothing easy. He said that he spent 200 gallons of blood to make every devotee. Have we done that? Finances, paisa, money is honey, right? Simple living and high thinking. What we do now is complex living and no thinking.
200 gallons of blood.
Yes.
Just a thought came, I want to share.
Mike.
One can share 200 gallons if somebody has that much blood. So if we have bhakti, we can give bhakti to others. Like the example, if we have something in our pocket, 100 rupee note, we can distribute. So first, just so if you have blood, some blood we can give, but
So how do you get blood? आप तो बहुत आगे की बात कर रहे हो. How do you get blood? How do you get more blood?
develop faith, being sincere and follow.
See, you're going into the theory part. I'm saying practically. Eat more, Prashad किसने कहा? मेरी फिलॉसफी मुझे श्लोक नहीं आते, स्टैंडिंग नहीं होती, प्रसादम के बारे में आता हूँ. देखो इतना बढ़िया प्रसाद मिल रहा है, उसकी एनर्जी आती है. नहीं, आप you are right, but please, you're right. I have a tendency, but basically, you know, that's why for घूमते घूमते, right? तो इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ माता जी तो बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबल, and you're doing a very good job. Now, I'll tell you one example. अब ये टाइम तो हो रहा है हमारे, I can keep on going as long as you want to. अभी 5 मिनट और बच्चे then big 12:30. हाँ? You're talking about yourself. I don't know what it is. नहीं, बच्चों के कल इम्तिहान है. I realize that, and I really appreciate the children sitting here. Okay. Krishna will help you. Krishna will help you. So, 1:45 hours. We'll be finished. Okay. The first devotee that we made, American devotee. So his name was Scott. So my wife met him at where we had a book table, so he came. And we came to the Sunday feast. He observed everything. The very first Sunday feast. And he came to Boku. He said, now, how do I join? What do I have to do? The spark got lit right away. So I said, you have to chant. Well, give me the beads, I will chant, no problem. You have to be vegetarian. And, no sex and all that stuff. He said, fine. So he used to do drugs and stuff. And then he came, and then we didn't see him for 3 weeks. So, she told me, I told her, well, maybe, we used to blame each other. You preached up too heavily. She always said, you preached up too heavily. And for regulative principles, who's going to follow it right away? So he didn't show up for 3 weeks. And then he showed up right on the day of Nityananda Triyodashi. Just so happened. So those were times when we were young and, strong, and so we were making gulab jamuns for the people. So he came that day, about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we were making it. So then he came, and my wife, being a Mataji, she looked at us and said, Scott, are you okay? You seem like you're sick. No, I'm okay. I'm a little weak. So then the next question the Mataji always asks, what? What have you been eating? You're not eating right. Weakness means you're not eating. Okay? No, you told me to eat vegetarian, so I've been doing that. Person has eaten meat all his life. So, what have you been eating? Well, I get these canned vegetables. You get corn and beans. So I just drain the water. I eat them. My wife said, well, even I would get sick if I eat that. You know, can we make gulab jamuns? He quickly offered me this. He said, you have one, right? It's gone bullet, sir. He had one, he had two, he had five. You know how many he had? Any guesses? Huh? All quick guess? You're almost right. He ate about 39 gulab jamuns. There's a 200 gallons of blood. Anyway, anyway, hard work has to be done. Prashadam, I'm a Prashadam devotee, kitchen. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that the Grihasthas do need to save money. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that. Okay. Being a house and older, Vasudev that needs to save some money. This is a Brahman, I believe, in South. Because if he's not doing so, it is very difficult for him to maintain his family. So can I give you a 2-minute seminar on finances? बहुत इंटरेस्ट है प्रसाद में कोई नहीं बोला Please, honey. Please, gulab jamun. One thing Prabhupada has said that we have practiced all our life. By Krishna's grace, we have always had the money. Circumstances aside, there might be exceptions. Law may require that you do. So he said, one earning member is enough. Because husband earns and the wife. But now we are in equal gender. So I say, two of you spouses, one should work, one should maintain the household. And there's some that the life should be, our lifestyle should be such that one income, and he says that 8 hours, maybe 10. Not this 24/7. So our lifestyle should be like that, that the income that is coming from there, we should be able to live happily. And then, practically, this thing about saving money. I did that myself. Later on, I read, you can ask any financial, is it anyone in finance, financial consulting or wealth advisor? आपको? हैं? अरे आपको तो बहुत blood होना चाहिए. What advice do you give to couples like us? Financial. People are saying you're the financial advisor.
Actually, Krishna's grace, I have training of being an analyst. So my basic profile is not with a wealth advisory, but I do engage myself in how to generate money through investments.
You don't have a money giving tree.
You are giving us such knowledge.
Go ahead.
So it's like that. I'm not in direct advice.
That's fine, but still, what do you give? What advice do you give people when they come to you?
I've been following Ananth Rupa Prabhuji. He has been giving so much advice.
Canara Bank. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yamuna Canara Bank.
But sir, Prabhuji, it's too short a time. Shall I tell one sentence?
Yeah.
So I'll say that everyone should invest. As Lord Chaitanya is advising there, that we should save money. Now, next part of it is to invest that money.
Where?
Just save. It depends on a person's age. it depends on a person's requirement of money. So if he wants save, now we have good money in banks. But if really one wants growth, it should be in a growth investment like in a company, which grows and the person grows. In the equity investment.
All right, okay, thank you. Now, so let me add. Basically, it's not only that you should be able to live in one income, but I've done it myself and I've read it in US. If you start saving from the age of 25 when you start working, that whatever money you make, $100 or $1,000 or a million KD, that doesn't matter. From day one, if you take 15% of it before taxes, and you put it aside, investment, savings, whatever it is. And then if you work 25 years, then at the end of that, you should be able to retire happily and be full-time Krishna conscious for the rest of your life. Okay? आपको फ्री एडवाइस दे रहा हूँ पैसे का विवाद ले कितना लेते हो आप for consulting? We all need money. If that's your job. Okay. So that rule has not failed. And then to that I add that 15% long term, 5% short term. Because nowadays you never know when you'll be laid off. 100 rupees a month, you should be able to survive in 80 rupees, 20 rupees somewhere else. In terms of investment, Prabhupada has said that. It's very true. I've done it myself. Stock market is gambling. What do you do? What do you do? That's the issue. And it's true equity, you make money. So for that, the answer is mutual funds. Either FDs, but the different FDs and mutual funds. Mutual funds practically is not gambling or speculation on my part. Somebody else is doing that. He's taking all the card. And a lot of people who want to take that card. And if you're doing it for devotees, then you're getting punya. Like I know him. So that, if you keep that rule, based on my experience, based on what others have said, money will not be an issue after that. There's one more thing. Actually, there's one more thing. Try to have your own home plus one. Angie? I'm assuming you'll have health insurance. Okay, but leave that aside for a minute. So your own home, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, villa, whatever it is, plus one more to supplement the rental, to supplement your retirement income. And if nothing else, assuming, and I have a separate lecture that unless medical reasons or whatever it is, you should have 2 children, not 1. So then at the time you pass away, we leave to each one home, 1 apartment each. And you should still be able to do that in that 80 rupees, not EMIs and all that. EMI, yes, as long as you know you can pay off in 20 years before you die. All those things. If you do that, that is my personal experience. I retired at the age of 55. The early retirement. And even before that, I paid off 3 mortgages, the temple and everything else. After retirement, we extended our temple, doubled it. And I paid most of it for that too. And Krishna is always helping us. Even mutual funds, maybe once a year, twice a year, I would sit down on computer and see if my funds are doing okay, but I never did even penny in them. Right in the beginning, I took, oh, these are the best funds and left it over there. That is my practical advice to all of you. If it fails, I won't be here around, so you can blame me. I have only 5 more, 6 years. Okay. So, and then I said, and then Krishna willing. Okay. Grihasthas build temples. Prabhupada's own example. And you will see what ISKCON has what now about 950 establishments, 600 temples, farm communities, all those stuff. More than half of the temples, they're not big ones like Mayapur, Delhi, Gopinath, Juhu. They are by Grihasthas, they're offering to Prabhupada. And we all can do that. They all started with that simple, like all of you did, Prabhuji did in the back, out of their family home. Prabhupada said, do something wonderful for Krishna. One wonderful thing is raise your children for Krishna. And Krishna will help you. We do our best, Krishna does the rest. And that is the faith. Yeah, I want to show you Prabhupada's own life, Alada. Okay. The natural result of marriage is children. We have not talked about that's a separate topic. We have the time, and I have all the time. We can do another seminar or besides that. Okay. Prabhupada writes here, this is very important. The world in this modern era is actually bereft of saintly persons. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, Prabhupada said the same thing, that the world is full of demons. What we need is some saints. So if we take the responsibility to have children, then you have 1,000 children. Gita endorses that. This is an example. When I personally met the person, I was in Hamburg, one of the original temples in Germany. In fact, the first temple in Germany. This HG Ananth Prabhu, he also does rock music. I met him. The slide came early, I guess. I met him, very simple, humble devotee. He has a bike shop, and he is in charge of the Hamburg temple from day one. Now he finally is getting old. So I asked him, how do you maintain it? How do you do it? So initially, there were a lot of devotees, when Prabhupada was there, Prabhupada left. And he was still committed to doing it for Prabhupada. So he had only one child. World War II had taken out all the young people from Germany. There was no growth, children, like it says in Mahabharata. All the men will be gone, the women will become widows. What happens to children, future of man? So Germany was giving, I think, 300 euros, which is a big amount. Like Prabhuji is saying, in here it's also done. If you had a child, so he had second child, right? 300 euros coming in. You still need more money. Next year, you're ready to get third child. He kept on going to 8 children. How many of us are willing to do that? So, we have so many couples. I don't know if you know Nitya Gupta Mataji and her husband, Krishna Vision, Yadava Prabhu and his wife. Majority of teaching centers, small temples around the world are the husband, wife, but every one of you can do that and you will get so much satisfaction. Everything you will be taking care of my children, raising nice children, money, everything else, you just have to do it. The Nike slogan, right? Just do it. And here yourself, this is an example. That's why I was so impressed. When I came to Canada, I didn't expect this, but it is an example of 2 Grihastha families. And then all of you not taking over, doing this. Can be done. It is repeated. Prabhupada always said the Krishna consciousness is a science, not an art. And what does science mean? When you say something is science? Come on, you know the answer.
It means that
Mike's details. What does it mean? Well, people, they all you want to supposed to study science. Nobody does arts anymore, right?
no.
Why science? What is the thing about science? Who can help him? Yes. Huh? Yeah, you can do that with arts also. What is the thing about science? Huh?
Practical.
No, practical knowledge. No, there's one word I'm looking for. Huh? No, principles, no. What else is there? Huh?
So many laws.
You can repeat it. If you take 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen, you can repeat it, you always get water. That's what science is, repeatable. And the Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is a science. If you follow the 4 regulative principles, if you do what Prabhupada says, you can repeat it, you can make thousands of devotees and thousands of temples. It's a balancing act. And I've gone through it. It is a tough act. But if we have the faith in Prabhupada, in our Guru, okay, then it can be done. And I am very positive, had not it been for regulations and everything else, here there would be at least 4, 5, 6 temples. All of you are so dedicated and so qualified, and you have the resources, and you have so much love for Srila Prabhupada. The very fact that you have 4 feasts on Sunday or Fridays instead of 1 shows that. So, can I toot my horn and give you the example? We started in 1986 in Boise. This is Ravi or Radhika, this is Gopal. See? Prashadam in there. These are the smallest deities we had. The temple really started like in the family room. And if you see the circle here, there's a coffee table, and then there are deities. This is 1986 Diwali. Yeah. And this is 1999 Janma. It can be done. 1 income. Okay. We did everything. spent time every year we went to India. We took vacations, we did everything.
These deities are at home.
Now the temple, yeah.
Temple at
We started, I have a separate slideshow on the Bodhi temple. I can show you, but how the deities progress. Prabhupada writes, and I'll end this. Sometimes it's found among exalted personalities like Lord Brahma that the wife and children are not a cause of bondage. Sometimes, on the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the knots of material relationships, and consequently, they forget the relationship with Krishna. All of you can do something wonderful with Krishna. Keep on going, doing, expanding, journey is successful. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I answered what you came for, but this is what I had to offer. And I'm ready for question, comments. Get some blood out of me, will you? Nothing. Okay. No? Yes. मुझे माफ करना प्रभु जी मैं मजाक करता हूँ The very fact you're here, you're Kantimala, you're devotee, you're doing great.
from Jaipur, so
Oh. You got an outcome to nothing now. Funny part, really.
So, you have explained everything in detail, but just if one takeaway we have to take because you have already covered it, but for us to remind ourselves, how we all can be very happy and blissful in Krishna. In short, like this is the most important thing for us to be happy and blissful in Krishna. We share because we see you like personification of happiness.
Thanks. It is only now. You do not know kitne papad dele. But your life is full of suffering. The definition, chapter 8, right? Dukhalaya. If there's happiness, it is in this, and it's a journey. It's a spiral. In the evening seminar, I have that. So the journey never ends. It's a very joyous journey. And as you go up, the thing is, I mean, if you say, yeah, Anand Ambudhi Vardhanam, it's an ocean. And in the ocean, when you swim, you go up and down. So happiness is within, and Krishna provides that. I mean, it's satisfaction, you cannot measure it from external terms. It's like after we do a good Sunday feast, and I see when I cooked it, that no prasadam was wasted. It was not less, it was not more, it was just exactly right. And I know Krishna was happy, and internally I really get happiness. But then I start again, or the next week is coming, what I have to do. So it is an ongoing process. And like, I do not know, like I say, but you can feel it. You're saying that you see that happiness in me, but internally I know, I cannot be like Yeshwananda Prabhu. I cannot be like Vrit Prakash Prabhu. I mean, I've not done anything. I mean, I've done in Boise Temple over the years, they've made 50 devotees. I have name of every one of them. And here you've made 300 something. So now I have a new mountain to climb, a new journey to do. So happiness is not external, happiness is within. And we each have our own, it's a tough question. But I do know if I had not done this, I would probably be a drug addict or something like that. But it's a yatra, and yatra never ends. It just keeps on going. So that's all maybe somebody else can answer that.
Actually, just discussing with Prabhuji. If you recall that when Prabhupada was in Australia, so that time there was a handful of devotees. And then he was asked by a reporter that Prabhupada, what happened in America and other places, teaching is going on, but in Australia you have just 2 devotees. Then Prabhupada quoted a verse from Standard Community that three more people want to throw rivers around. That having one qualified son is better than thousands of unqualified. Like more Eka Chandra Kama Hanti, nurture Tara Sahantas. That one moon can dissipate the darkness of entire night for not thousands. So what I personally feel that the sense of happiness or achievement in one sense we can tell the same mercy of Krishna, Prabhuji Maharaj, that they have 2 moods, not 1 mood. They have only 2 moods. One of that is gone. This is Grace Radhikaran Prabhu and Grihastha. And if we have heard them, then what I'm saying you can really appreciate. The way they have developed Krishna consciousness, the way they are studying Krishna consciousness all across, it's really wonderful. So all glories to you and Mataji.
When I see you, like I said, it's one thing that we have not talked about is comes to happiness. You have Adu Shraddha, Sadhu Sangam, Bhajan Kriya, उसके बाद क्या आता है? Anarth Nivritti. That stage, I'm still going through. But there's hope because if the first 3 steps work, and I know there's Anarth Nivritti, it may take a whole lifetime to the very end. Yeah. But I do know, the person I know, I'm not glorifying myself, but I'm getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. But as you get more cleaner, right? The example is, there used to be a song, right? Bhajan, Meli Chadar Leke Kahan Jaun. I think Sehgal used to sing that, the old singer. Yeah, you were probably not even born. So what he's saying is that, you have a dirty sheet. So many dirts. But as you get cleaner, what happens when you have a clean dhoti and you're eating prasadam and then you drop the sabji with haldi in it, that one spot, it shows up. And everyone says, oh, you didn't get that. So spiritual life is that. We're cleaning our dhoti, keep on cleaning. And then one spot is there. Then I said, yeah, I have to clean that also. But I have joyful, I have a clean dhoti, but it's not, I have to clean more. So that's what it is. Anything else?
I saw this the first temple and thought about the future. And so how we got that faith over that time was so difficult. Now we know that to have complete faith we should look at those that okay, do not send children in school. So for the spiritual master instruction on how
no, you once you get in the, you never have the time. Maybe one of you 2 can agree with me. For a while it used to be. Okay. Now it's not, but for the first 15 years, I guess. The children were small, there were just 2 of us, not too much help. Here you have so much help. I wish I even had like 2 more people, devotees like here that you have to help us. And it used to be that Sunday feast, and I would tell her, like on a Wednesday or Thursday, or even sometimes right after the feast, this is the last Sunday feast you're going to have. Last Sunday feast. And by Friday, we had added again, we had no choice. Gopal Maharaj was so far away, but he was always in our hearts. We always got to go. The other thing that came about, and you can see that now I speak, doing the speak of the street, I'm almost 3/4 done with the book. It's called The Miracle on Martha Street. And the temples of Martha Street. And you really get to see Chamatkar. This is what's happening in Kanya. She's sitting against all odds. Who's doing it? We're just the instruments, limit the Krishna help. And that's for the self-realization. What you're hearing, you can hear all this in Shastra, but the self-realization of a devotee. And that's why when devotees come, that's what I think we all want to hear. Each one has a little bit different, the same thing. And so after every Sunday, and she was more formed up, but I was not. This is my last week. And somehow on Sunday, I don't know what it was, but one thing I know, we were alone in Boise. It's way in the middle. It's almost like a Registan desert. And every time we needed help, and we were totally immature. But the only thing that we had done in LA, when we were in LA, we used to invite devotees for the Naman programs. So we've gotten some experience, but still we didn't know about, altars and how to make a good feast and so on. But every time we needed help, it's amazing, in the middle of nowhere, somehow, Prabhupada, Bhakti Bihari, a devotee would drop in. It's like in a desert, somebody just brings you 1 glass of water. And he would, all the answers we had, he would do that. I'll give you an example. And all these things, we opened a restaurant. Some records I don't want to say the same, but naya so you can open a restaurant. It was her idea. Okay. I had told them, my main purpose was to provide money. You do it. So well, I think we should stop here because it's a long story. But anyway, so we opened the restaurant and 6 days a week. This is pure restaurant, no coffee, no tea, no alcohol, nothing. In a pure meat-eating town, hardly too many Indians. And 6 days a week, no help. She and I and the kids were small. We didn't realize that because we have seen devotees who open Govindas, we've forgotten all the rest. It's like Krishna's Maya, Yoga Maya, Mahamaya. We did that. After the 3rd week, just like, it's like totally out of control. And so she called up a devotee she knew in LA, Devti Mataji and her husband Purushottam, they had been running a restaurant in a suburb of LA to talk to them. And the Mataji on the other side said, you know, Prabhu, I think I know what you're going through, but my husband needs a break. So I will send him, maybe you can do. So he came to, well, this is part of my seminar this afternoon. Anyway, give you any. And so, could you ask a question? And so he came. He said, "Now we were just closed by the time we drove from LA. It was 7 o'clock. We were wound up, and we literally were sitting on 2 milk crates. The restaurant was closed, and literally we were crying. He came, so a big relief, you know, but maybe and I'm sure he will stay back and help us and work with us for a while. He came, he listened. You know what he said? He said, Prabhuji, looks like Krishna wants you to dance. I became a devotee, not reading Gita, but Prabhupada Leela. So I remember this, make me dance. But he added one more thing. He said, if Krishna wants you to dance, you have to dance, even if you have only one leg. एक बार जब कृष्ण पकड़ लेते हैं आपको, once he catches you, there's no choice, happiness or not happiness. So आपको पकड़ लिया है. आपको पकड़ लिया है. Hare Krishna.
One point we learned from you.
Mike did.
One point we learned from you. We are just observing you. So when you were mentioning about the devotees in West, 50 devotees, you said just 50 devotees. Actually, we know Prabhuji that in West, especially US, 50 devotees are equal to 5,000 devotees as well. But we are so humble. We just said only 50 devotees. But Sri Prabhupada is so pleased. There are 50,000.
But there's another angle to it. The reason I brought Ananth Rupa is all those devotees, they have to take out their Ananth. You made 300, right? No, I know, but I mean, the thing is the Ananthas have to come out. Gandhi nikalni hai. Gandhi gandhi hai. It's in your house. So जब घर की लड़ाई होती है थोड़ी कि बाहर वाले से कहते हैं outside, you know, my son is fighting, it is doing that. So it's all within the family, right? It's a big family. So Krishna knows that. So Krishna wants to, initiation is just the start. It's not initiation. What initiation means is start. So the start means that now the cleaning process starts. Right? So somebody has to be the washing machine. Right? And the washing machine, you know what? पिटाई नहीं होती है, गोली का डंडा मतलब. So guess who's the washing machine? The person who helped you get initiated. So far, there's not been a single example that somebody came to me and said, Prabhuji, I'm so thankful you got initiated. All the anarthas, Nivrati that comes to the temple first thing. It takes about 2 years for the anarthas to come out. By the second year, who are you to tell me, Prabhuji? You know, me and my Guru and Krishna, and you got me into this. You got me into this. You get me out. Why did you trick me? बुलाओ, मैंने क्या किया, प्रसाद ही खाया और क्या। पता नहीं आपके यहाँ बहुत मेल है, मगर ये जो अनंत निवृत्ति जो प्रोसेस है, मगर then I realized it took me long time that Krishna had picked someone to be the washing machine. You know? So Krishna picked up someone to clean, someone to do Pujari Seva. So there's so many angles to all that. So and in the process, my anarthas are coming out also. So it's a घर की बात है. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.